Hello, runlings. So I'm back out again. I don't know why I say that. You can see I'm back, and you can see I'm out again. So why do I say I'm back out again when you know I'm back and I'm out? Anyway, so here's another one. It is in the same woods that I've been to a few times before, so it's my kind of go-to woods. But I do love doing it, and so far I've not actually brushed my hair by the looks of it. So far I've never been found, and it's been peaceful and quiet, and but I have been going in the winter, so there's certainly a lot more people around here. So I've got some interesting, good stuff, fun stuff for this camp. I've got 3 new bits of equipment, 2 second-hand but new to me, and 1 lush, lovely new bit of equipment. Oh, there's people coming behind me. I don't know if you can see them. Don't seem to be able to avoid them today because of the weather, lovely weather. So I've got a brand new camera. I can't remember the make off the top of my head. Well, we'll talk about it later anyway. It's kind of like a GoPro, cheap version of a GoPro, but something I could never about afford if it weren't for my lovely colleagues at work who did a collection for me for my 50th birthday and got me 95% of the money to buy this camera. So I've tested it all out. It seems fine at home. I'm on the phone at the moment because I don't have anything to, like a gimbal or a selfie stick to put it on. So but when it's stationary, that's when I'll be in the camp, and that's when I'll start to use it. So that's good. That's going to open up a whole new ballpark for me. And 2 second-hand bits of equipment, which I'll talk about later. It's a sleeping bag and a new stool, and you'll see that when I set up. So hang around. And F4 did it. Thought your camera froze. I expect the birds gave it away. Okay, so all set up and ready and covered in flies, and I'm hot. We're having a bit of a heat wave at the moment. Lasting a couple of weeks. There's a couple of breaks in between where the weather was sort of eased off a bit. It had a little bit of a thunderstorm, but it went right back to being boiling hot again. Which is it for the first time since I've been doing this backpacking on YouTube. I've had to have an equipment change because that was kind of odd. I had all this different equipment, and I'm so used to packing up for winter, and I know what goes in first, how it all goes together, and I'm on my way. And I sort of went with all this equipment. Oh, what happens if I put that in first? And oh, no, that don't work. And bloody flies. So that was interesting. Completely different change in equipment, because I've got it's funny because I wanted a winter sleeping bag. Last time I went out camping, my sleeping bag was too hot. I had the Leviathan, the OEX Leviathan, and it's too hot, and it wasn't even a heat wave then, but it was just too hot. I unzipped it, but I wanted something over me, so I was thinking about a summer one anyway. So I have a summer one, a rubbishy one with Asda, from Asda, which does great for summer because it's a cheapy thin one, but it has a hood on it, and I'm thinking I don't really want a hood in the summer because it's too hot. The whole point is not to have one. So I was thinking about getting a summer one anyway, and as you may or may not know, the my stool broke, and it has a rip, and I've been using it, but the rip's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'm stinking more and more and more. And there's 2 straps underneath that sort of break my fall, but I end up sitting on them, and it's really painful. So I was thinking of getting a new stool as well. I'm thinking, where am I going to get the money for this? And then blow me down, mosquitoes. Blow me down if my girlfriend's daughter is just moving house, and she was sort of had some bits and bobs that she didn't want to take with her, and she said, I've got some camping stuff, and she had a stool and a summer sleeping bag. I mean, what are the chances? So And the sleeping bag, by the way, doesn't have a hood on it, which is exactly what I want. It's nothing. It's Euro hike, and it's one of those ones you can. The good thing about it is you can unzip it all the way, and it becomes a big duvet. So I don't even have to get inside it. That means I can stick my leg out when it's boiling up, which it is today. So I think that's brilliant. It's I won't bother showing you any more than that. It's nothing special. It's exactly what I want, but it's not. What is Euro Hike? That's isn't that Go Outdoors' own brand? I always get it mixed up with Nature Hike. I think Euro Hike is Go Outdoors' own brand, so it'll be sort of relatively inexpensive. And the stool. And it's like quite thin when it wraps up. It has a little strap around the top to hold it all together, and it's very thin. It's lighter than my other stool. It's a bit taller as well, which is good because it means I don't have to get right onto the floor like I did with the other one. So I like that. So that worked out rather well as well. I was thinking of buying a chair to replace my stool, but you know what? This was free, and it's better than my other one. So Bob's your uncle. So that's quite good. So I'm quite pleased with that. And that brings me to my third piece of equipment, which is I'm reading it because it says on the camera, an Akaso Brave 7. Akaso, aka SO, Brave 7. It had nothing but good reviews. You can compare it to a GoPro and the quality's not as good. I'm on there now, by the way. The first little bit I did was on my phone. I'm on there now, so it's the first time I'm using it for YouTube. So the quality isn't quite as good, and the various stuff when it isn't quite as good. But it was 120 something pounds. So you know, whereas a GoPro is what, 300 to 500 depending on what model you get. You know, so you know, only time will tell whether it's good enough. I think it's going to be good enough for YouTube, and if this carries on working as well as it has been, then I don't see the point of even going on to GoPro, because my phone works perfectly well, and that's not as good as a GoPro in terms of quality. So I don't see me needing to change. Even if I had the money, I don't see me needing to change. We'll see. When I upload it and watch it, we'll see. I'm thinking as long as this thing keeps working, I don't see the point of getting anything else, because it's got the screen at the front, so I can film myself and see what I'm doing, which is what I really need. I know the phone does it, but and it's tiny, and it comes with so many accessories. It's unbelievable. My favourite is the watch that comes with it. You've got one button for taking a photo, one button for the camera. So I just press my watch. I call it a watch. What I really call it. And it comes with different straps. You can choose the different types of straps. This is Velcro. There's another one that has a latch. I mean, what the? You know, a GoPro. You spend £5 million, and all this stuff you've got to buy extra. It came with it. I mean, and that is brilliant to just be wherever you are and go beep. My only initial dislike of the camera is I wanted a wireless mic, and the only one you can buy for this, as far as I'm aware, I've researched it, is the Akaso's own make, which is wired. And I bought one of those, and even though the advert said it's for Akaso Brave 7, this specific model, the fitting was wrong because they do two different fittings. So I still didn't end up getting one, even though it was wired. So I don't know what the sound's going to be like. It sounded okay, but I really wanted a wireless mic, and it doesn't look like you're going to get one for this. That's the only downside. How annoying that's going to be, I don't know. I wanted a mic, but so anyway, those are the three things, and that's what's going to be interesting to use. And it comes with 2 batteries as well. How amazing is that? There's quite a few amazing things. It came with a case, so you can go underwater as well. But it came with 2 batteries. Yeah, so you can charge them through the device itself, or you comes with a little unit that you can stick them both in and charge them simultaneously in the unit. Is it just me that's impressed with that? I mean, for £125 off of Amazon. I mean, I mean, I mean, what do you think? I mean, is there a need for GoPro if you can spend that little, get that much accessories, and it's still good enough for YouTube? Only time will tell. So I can't get in very far anymore because look at the undergrowth. It's so thick. Look how high it is. I mean, it's a good. Well, it's taller than me. It's a good 6 foot high. All these, is it ferns? That's quite mad. In the winter it goes all brown and drops to the ground, and it's really short and you can wade into where you want. But I can't get in very far. I mean, just along the top of this sort of line here, just literally the other side of that is a path. I'm that close to the path, but I just can't get in any deeper than that because all these ferns are so high. In the summer, this is my first summer here, so this is my first experience here. They're so high, up. There's the trees. I can't get in very far, and I don't feel as comfortable as I used to, because I used to get into the forest really deep, miles away from anyone. Nobody would go that far, but now I'm right next to the path because it's as deep as I can get in, because the ferns are growing up higher and taller than I am. There you go, that's my 360. But you know, it is a gorgeous view when you get above the ferns of all the big old trees. So you know, it's still peaceful, beautiful, and gorgeous listening to all the birds tweeting and stuff. So just, yeah, not all bad. So in the early days, I was every time I forgot something, I was and I was quite annoyed with myself, and yeah, got quite irritated by it. And you know, like now it's just so normal, part of camping, that I just go, yeah, oh yeah, that's what I've forgotten this time. It's not, it doesn't even register, it's just, you know, wondered what I'd forget. And today, let it be no different. I forgot my tin opener again. Yeah, again. And I just went, oh, so what? I forgot my tin opener. Knew there'd be something, and that's what it was. So, but then I remembered that this spoon I bought a set of 2. I can't remember how much they were. They were like a few quid, not much. It has a fork and a spoon, and this fork has a serrated bit. It had a really pointless carabiner on it. I don't think I know you wouldn't hang off your bag, would you? I don't know. And it has a bottle opener, and yes, it has a tin opener. It was a bit of an interesting thing to try and work out. Oh yeah, get it. But once I got the hat, I mean, I made one half is kind of a bit of a mess. But once I've kind of gone, yeah, I got it. It was working really well. So I mean, brilliant for a few quid. So now I'm kind of thinking I don't even care about tin openers now, because that is doing the job. Yeah, that's the only thing I bring cutlery wise, because it's got a fork and a spoon and anything all on it, and it's all the other guff on it as well. So, and I've got 2 of them. I'll leave the other one at home. I've got 2 of them. Yeah, came in a pack of 2. I mean, brilliant. One of my cheap but brilliant things. Somebody said that when they eat, this catches on their mouth, you know, the sort of this bit here. Yeah, and if you shove it right down the back of your throat, it does. But if you dainty eat, you know, there's no hurry. You're out here on holiday. So if you dainty eat, that doesn't happen. But you know, so that could be an issue. But other than that, what a great buy! A few quid. I forget what it was. I've mentioned it on the other videos. It was like a few quid, like 3 quid or something, for 2 metal ones. I mean, that is one of those little things where it seems trivial, but actually that's really good. I love it. So yeah, so I forgot something, but it all worked out lovely, because I bought something that did the job. And so anyway, so that's my dinner today. It's just ravioli. I just fancied some ravioli. I could have done all the, like last time I cooked an omelette and stuff like that. Chucked all the ingredients in, but I just really fancied ravioli. So I'm just having a tin of ravioli. Quite simple, but there you go. Job's a good one. So it's not that dark out here. I've had to put the light on. It's not even that dark out here. It's really in my face. So I found one issue with this. But is that an issue? Is the GoPro any better? Oh, no idea. It's not. It is obviously a lot darker, but it's not that dark. Visibility is still really good, and yet the camera seems to imply it's pitch black in here. But, and it's just not that dark. Still. Then I just put the light on. What time's it now? It's 10 to 10. So it's quite late. I bought the Fox One out today. It's been a while since I've used that because I once bought the Bobcat. I love the Bobcat. But the Fox One for summer is perfect, because in the summer, I mean, that's what I've been doing the Bobcat just recently. I've not been using it to its full potential because it's not been naff weather. So I've not had to go inside and cook inside. I've not cooked inside it since I bought it. I've only think once sat inside watching it rain, because it's got a lovely flap at the top where you can unzip it down, and the flap still protects you from rain getting in, and you can sit in it and watch the rain, which is brilliant. I've not done that yet because I've done it once, sorry, that I remember. So I've not used the Bobcat to its full potential, but I do love it. Now the hot weather's here, the Bobcat almost seems not that much point, because it's good for cooking inside. When I'm talking stealth, obviously, purely stealth. Because if there was no stealth involved and it was just a place you're supposed to be, you'd get a big old tent, bags of room, and Bob's your uncle. But talking purely stealth, the Bobcat is the one to be. It's a relatively small footprint with a vestibule, and that's great. Through the winter, that's great, and through bad weather, that's great. But when the really nice weather comes, it becomes a little bit pointless, because you're spending all your time outside anyway. I mean, I haven't even got a coat on. It's 10 to 10. I haven't even got a coat on. I bought a thin one with me. It doesn't look like I'm going to need it. So the Bobcat is kind of crossed over into not being much use now. I might as well have a lighter tent, and a tent that I don't need a vestibule, because I'm not going to be in it until it's bedtime. So that's when the Fox One really works, and that's why I bought it today, because I'm not going to get in it till I go to bed. The weather it's been a heat wave, so the weather forecast is it's not going to rain. I could have probably even left the outer off and just slept in the inner. I didn't even think of that. I just put it up automatically without thinking. So I probably could have just done that, and it should have been done in half the time, except for it's orange and I'm quite near the path. But yeah, so yeah, the Fox One is a tent. I got the Fox One because it was in the winter, so it wasn't the best choice for winter, but I only had just enough money for that, and I didn't want to buy a really cheapy tent, because I do believe in buy cheap, buy twice, so it's not ends up cheaper. And I've ignored that rule a couple of times myself, and I've had to buy again, thinking, well, maybe I can get away with it, and it's come up every time. Buy cheap, buy twice, every time. So I wanted to buy a relatively well-known make, relatively reliable make, It's 5,000 hydrostatic egg, has all the aluminium poles and it's well made, and as far as I'm concerned, the OEX is, and it's a used brand by many people. So I felt for the money it was the best quality one you could get for the money, and I only just had enough money to buy it, so I bought it purely because I didn't have a choice in a sense. So as soon as I could afford to, I bought the Bobcat, which is great for winter. But now the summer's here, the Bobcat is it's turned from a great tent to almost useless, because what's the point of having all that stuff it does if you're not going to use it? So I'm back on the Fox One all the time. The weather's this lovely. It's great to be able to go between the two. So that's why I'm with the Fox One today. What a lovely sight. I don't know if you can pick this up. The moon coming through the trees there. Much brighter off camera. That doesn't show to its full glory. It looks so picturesque, it coming through the trees like that. That's what I love about coming out here. Things like that. It's such a emotional ride, being out here, and just simple things like that. That little moon shining through the trees. It's like a postcard. Right, time to turn in. I've had my coffee, done all my bits and bobs, teeth brush and all that. Time to turn in, and I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. I got beans and sausages for breakfast. I normally have a tin of all day it's called all day breakfast, but the shop I was in wasn't selling that, so I've got a cappuccino and a tin of beans and sausages for brekkie. I fancy breakfast this morning. Sometimes I don't, but for some reason I fancy breakfast this morning. It's odd. I was saying just last night, it was we're in the middle of a heat wave, but this morning there's no sun. It's not cold, but it's chilly enough to put my jacket on. There's only a thin jacket, but it's not cold really. But it's just white cloud. There's no sun coming through at all, which is odd. But even with that really thin sleeping bag, I was still really warm last night. I had it unzipped. Didn't even zip it up because it was warm. So I slept well. It took a while to get off, and then I kept waking up periodically for reasons I can't work out. And then it hit a certain time of the night, I don't know what time, and then I slept solid after that. So in terms of camping, I consider that sleeping well. Something was sniffing around the tent last night. I could hear footsteps around the tent. I knew if I unzipped it to have a look, it would just run off. I didn't see the point of it'd have been nice to get the camera out and film whatever it was, but I just know as soon as I've got two zips in there and out, as soon as I unzip one of them it would, so I just left it. Whatever it was walking around the tent multiple times and sniffing about, and I just sat there listening to it, and then it just lost interest and walked off. And that's the first time that's happened actually. Every time I've been out camping, I've never known there to be anything come that close. Not so close I can hear its footsteps. Just been nice to have got a shot of it. If I just put the inner up last night, I would have sort of see it through the inner mesh, but it is what it is. Beans and sausages. Not the best meal in the world, but it's quick, it's easy, and it'll do. And a coffee. Yum yum. Hope this isn't too wobbly. I've got no gimbal. This is just stuck on top of my tripod which I'm carrying. I've got the I forgot what it's called, but the thing you put on to stop it looking like it's shaking too much. The name escapes me, so I don't know how well that's working. Judging by the screen, it's not too bad actually. Bearing in mind this is I'm just carrying my tripod. It's just stuck on top of the tripod, no gimbal. See how dense the forest is. Oh, tripod's caught. See how dense the forest is. Trying to find my way out. Right, so I'm off home. It's been a lovely camp, lovely warm weather, and this morning it's not much sun, but that's been perfect because it's not cold, it's not hot, it's just the right temperature. So it was a good camp. I really enjoyed this, especially using my new equipment. I'm on my new camera now, by the way, because I managed to find that anti-shake mode, whatever it is. How well that's working I don't know. I want a gimbal as well one day. At the moment it's just stuck on, I'm just holding it on top of my tripod, so I don't know how well that's working. But anyway, so I'll if you got this far, thanks for watching. It's always appreciated, and I appreciate it because if you got this far, you're also joining me on my journey, which is nice. So I'll obviously be coming out again, especially now the weather's nice. Swap hands, my arm's aching, especially when the weather's nice. So I'll be definitely doing some more, and I'll see you in the next one.